Thank you for taking the time to listen to us this evening. My name is Sarah Gabrielson. I've lived in this county since 1990. My parents moved here when I was a small child. I have decided to stay here because it's safe, it's beautiful, and this is where I want to raise my child. I'm terrified what this factory is going to do. I will not be able to stay here because it will not be safe for her. I work as a social worker, and I often have late nights, and I tend to watch documentaries about health issues in other communities, and I don't want Jefferson County to be one of those documentaries in 10 years, or 20 years, or 30 years, when this company has polluted this beautiful place. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Kevin Hall.
Mayor, members of the City Council, thank you for hearing us and providing us an opportunity to speak. My name is Kevin Hall. I live in Shepherdstown. I love the county of West Virginia, right here in Jefferson County, and I consider it to be my home. I've lived in this county for over 40 years. I've raised my 2 children here. My parents, brothers, sisters all live here with their 8 children, and I'm hoping to retire here and watch my children prosper and perhaps raise their own children here too. But now I'm not sure what the future of Jefferson County is going to bring for us. So I'd like to express my opposition to the building of the Rockwell plant and anything that would contribute to it and its progression forward. I drive past the future site of that plant every day, and still just thinking about it brings a tear to my eye, just our beautiful county. Some people define the quality of life as having a bunch of money, but the actual definition is the standard of health, comfort, and happiness that we experience. So I think we have an outstanding quality of life here in Jefferson County. Just to mention a few: the clean air, the wonderful outdoor activities, the parks, the beautiful scenery, local produce, rich history, lots of local activities, quality education for our kids, and even a local university. So I plead to you and implore you to use all of your skill, your influence to oppose anything that would contribute to the building of this plant in our county. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jennifer King. Jennifer King. John Doyle.
Your Honor, honorable members of the council, thank you for having this hearing. My name is John Doyle. I live in Shepherdstown now, but I grew up in Charlestown, and I was a member of the only undefeated football team in the history of Charlestown High School, and I want that in the record. I was a member of the House of Delegates for a number of years, and I'm running for re-election. Not re-election, I'm sorry, I'm running for election again. I'm convinced that the vast majority of the people of Jefferson County do not want Rockwell here. And the city of Charlestown can help us stop it by throwing a block in the way by refusing to expand the sewer system for now. Now, it is I've been told by some people that some of you may think that even while you might not like Rockwell, that there are other reasons that you might want the sewer system expanded. And I don't quarrel with that. I suggest to you that the sewer system could be expanded later, that we should turn this down. And at some point in the future, when Rockwell is not here either because it was legally prevented from coming or because it on its own decided not to come, at that point you can expand your sewer system. So thank you.
Thank you.
Jazlyn Grimm.
Hi, my name is Jazlyn Grimm, and I have been living in Charlestown for about 3 or 2.5 months. And the reason we came here is my dad is U.S. Marshal, and he decided to come here because he travels back and forth to Washington just so we can stay in Harper's Ferry. and, well, Charlestown, sorry, just so we could stay in Charlestown. And we chose Charlestown because it was a great community, and we originally lived in Morgantown, and Morgantown wasn't really the best place to live, I guess. And now that we are coming here, it seems like one of the best communities that ever happens. And the schools are great here, and I heard about the rock rule, something like that, like 5 days ago, and that they would be around 2 miles away from the school that I would be going to, and this could distract. My mother says that education is important, and with all the rocks crushing and stuff, that this can distract my education, and with all the little kids playing outside, all the insulation and the pollution can get into their lungs, and that can cause cancer. And for my little brother, if he starts playing outside, I would not like him to get sick or cause cancer. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Will Sutherland.
Thank you all for hearing us. My name's Will Sutherland. I'm a 34-year resident in this county. I'm 34 years old. Went to school here, went to college here. I have been working in Charlestown for 12 years, and I bought a house here. Most of my friends moved away, unfortunately. I stayed because I love it here. I produced the Kickstarter video for Bushel and Peck, which is all about local fresh produce being sold here. And I think I agree. I'm not the only person. Farmers also are concerned about the ground level ozone that will come from this factory. The amount of VOCs it will emit will rank second highest in the state since the 2014 census. This county is my home, and I do not want to spend the rest of my life next to such a factory. I ask you to please do whatever you can for the people to prevent this factory, even if it's just delaying. Rockwool might pull out of the deal. My family home lies just over the hill from where this foreign factory will be. The only property between my family home where I plan to live when I'm older is the only property between my home and that factory is my good friend Jay Blue. Blue's another old name in this county. I know he's feeling the pressure and he's upset about it as well. I don't see what the real benefits are of this factory coming here if we're talking about a small amount of jobs. For instance, it's going to be, not only is it going to be immediately across the road from an elementary school, I did a little research and discovered that Procter & Gamble was providing around 1,000 jobs and less than 2 tons of annual pollution, whereas this factory will be polluting over 2 tons annually per employee. It's on their website. And I'm also proud to operate the #1 Airbnb in the state. Everyone says, I can't believe how beautiful the stars are here, and we love being able to get away from the smoggy city. Between 2,500 and 3,500 people view my Airbnb a month. It's booked literally nonstop. I pretty much live my whole life with awesome strangers. But this county has so much potential for tourism, and we really need to grow in the right direction and not scare anybody away. And as much as I'm all for big business, this just isn't the right one for us. And
Your time is up. Thank you so much.
Thank you for hearing me.
Christine Weimer.
Hi, thank you. I want to thank you for being here today and letting us all speak, but also for your service in general. I really appreciate it. I realize that this project has been approved by both the West Virginia and the national environmental agencies, but I also think that not every project is right for every place. For example, they're not building this downtown Washington, D.C., you notice. And I just don't think that this project is right for this county. I think that I know that we have a lot of assets in this county that we should be concentrating on promoting and protecting. And I implore you to think about this when you make your decisions, and I implore you to do anything you can to stop this project. I come at this from 2 angles. First, I'm a veterinarian. Specifically, I'm an equine surgeon. The particulate matter that would come from the smokestacks will have a deleterious effect on the respiratory system of the horses in the county. The respiratory system is the rate-limiting system for athletic activity in horses. The racing and equine breeding industry in this county make thousands of jobs. This effect would drive those businesses out of the county. The second angle that I come from this is that I'm 14th generation from the northern Shenandoah Valley that is now called Jefferson County. And we recently, after many years of trying to move back here, have just moved back here in hopes of starting a small business. If the plant is built, we will move and start our small business elsewhere. If there are just 6 other people like myself that would come here, who first of all currently have a very good job, and my spouse has a good job, and we spend all of that money in this county, but we are going to provide more jobs, and if 6 other people like us decide to leave or not come, then we wipe out the job effect. And so while I am for business—
Your time is up. Thank you for speaking tonight.
Thank you. I'm for business and I'm for jobs. I just implore you to follow the mantra that doctors follow, which is first do no harm. Thank you.
So is the next name, is it Aurora Hackett? Do I have that right? Aurora Hackett? I was going to say, or is there an Aaron? Well, that's, okay. Okay, next up, Kristin Lee.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to us tonight. I think one thing that everybody can agree on is that we're not anti-industry, we're just pro-due diligence. Given everything that we've been inundated with in the last week or so, it's really clear that there is a lot of due diligence to be done. And given the timeline that we have been provided by various organizations, I don't see how a reasonable person can think that the due diligence has been performed. We've heard tonight from people from all walks of life. We've heard from meteorologists. We've heard from parents. We've heard from teachers. In the course of the meetings, I don't even know how many we've been to in the last couple of days. We've heard from even more, and very, very highly educated people in their field coming at this from all different directions. And out of every single voice that's been raised and every voice that has wished that they could get here but couldn't, nobody has said this is a great idea. Nobody has said this is a good fit. We're here tonight talking about sewer, and we don't even know what is going to be in the particulate waste reports. We've seen their air emission reports, and it is absolutely appalling what's going to be coming out in the water. We learned that they had initially said that they were having between 16 and 25,000 gallons of wastewater per day. What we learned tonight from somebody on the building commission board, that's actually 40,000 gallons per day that they're starting at. And that was by a board member who brought up that figure. So already the numbers are going higher. So there's a lot of questions raised. There's a lot of health questions raised. There's a lot of ripple effect questions raised. What's going to happen with Loudoun County? What's going to happen with things further on down?
Your time is up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Terry from Harper's Ferry. Fetchmeyer? Terry? Yeah, come on up. Sorry about that.
Mayor, Council, appreciate you seeing us tonight. I am presently president of Deer Mountain Subdivision in Harper's Ferry. I am a 52-year design mechanical engineer who is retired to this beautiful land. And I did a lot of design of power plants and sewage treatment plants and what have you. And I think the Rockville people have been very guilty, not of commission error, but of omission error. There is a number of items that we have found out within the last week and a half, and talking to other members of other councils, that did not know certain aspects of these, of the Rockville manufacturing plant and what its effluent is going to be to the sewer, what the consumption of the water is going to be, and particularly the particulate matter is 4,400 tons a day. Okay? That's their published. That's EPA information. When you think about it, I talked to the folks in the sheriff's office this afternoon. They weren't even aware of this. I didn't talk to the sheriff, but I talked to the folks in the front office. And it strikes me that we need to do due diligence ourselves and you all and let everybody know and have adequate input and make sure that all these processes that they have in place or will have in place are going to work with the systems you already have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joseph Bocciari.
Yes, hello. It's Dr. Joseph Bocchiaro III. Please just call me Joe. What I did on my summer vacation today, this is my third meeting along with a lot of new friends. Took the day off because this is so vitally important. And I'd like to address you to make sure that you all are aware of a lot of the details that are happening, and you've heard some of them today. As an engineer, I have been, only since Wednesday when I found out about this, doing a lot of research into it. And every time I peel back another layer of the onion, it gets uglier and uglier, this Rockville plant. I've spent my life trying to run away from places like this. I grew up in Lackawanna, worked in the steel plants, super fun sites near the Love Canal, remember that? Ended up in New Jersey near the Johns Manville super fun site. These projects are on large bodies of water, typically, lakes, rivers, right? You don't usually see a plant like this, like landlocked, where they need to bring all of this water in and then reject all of this sewer wastewater. It's just a very strange place to put a project like this. I'm firmly convinced it's the wrong place, but I want to call your attention to other items. One is the heat pollution. This is really hot stuff, melting rocks, burning coal, and natural gas to do that. And the light pollution. People have mentioned the beautiful stars. It's one of the reasons why I love it here, going out at night and seeing forever. When you have a 21-story, 2 towers with the big blinking aircraft warning lights on the top, and there's steam pouring out of it, full of particulate matter and invisible pollutants, those red lights flash through the whole sky.
Your time is up. Thank you for speaking.
I don't want to see that. Please.
Yeah.
Are you Greg?
What is your name?
Go ahead. One more minute.
Thank you. Well, that was my main point. My main point is that we need to explore a lot of different issues here. People have talked about the inversions. If you've ever been in a place like down the river or into Harrisonburg, for instance, on a hot August day, when there's an inversion and it really smells there. I mean, it's so bad. I had an opportunity to work there one time, and I couldn't bear it. I couldn't even deal with thinking about how to work at James Madison University, which would have been really nice. But it smells so bad. When these rocks are melted and you start smelling that sulfur gas smell that's released from burning coke, coal, and melted rock, and that settles down into our valley here, when you start to hear the noise of the rock and coal crushing, that's part of the process on all of the trucks, and someday the railroad lines that inevitably will go through and serve with sidings this factory is just going to, the potential to become more and more horrific.
Your time's up again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Next up is Greg, is it Uhas from Middleway?
Good evening. I'll try to make this pretty quick. I'm sure you're all ready to get out of here. I grew up in a town called Cleveland, Ohio, and it's no stranger to industry, and it's also no stranger to pollution. I've seen factories open and close. I've seen jobs come and go, but the pollution is still there. About 10 years ago, I made Jefferson County my home. Married into a family that's been here for about 200 plus years. And I've really never planned on leaving this place. But I've got a 5-year-old starting kindergarten here in a couple weeks, and I got a 2-year-old that's shortly there behind. I'm disappointed in the communication breakdown both among citizens and leaders in the county and the community. It seems as though all of us are either misinformed or underinformed. And it looks as though at this point several dealings made under wraps have allowed this to move forward at a pretty quick rate, so I suggest things should slow down, give us some time to investigate further into potential environmental impacts that this plant could have on the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nancy Gregory.
I've been in this county for 33 years, my husband for 40 years. I just want to know, are we wasting our time? This is my 3rd meeting today. Is there any chance that this plant can be stopped? This morning I asked one of the people who voted yes on the water bond, and he said he voted yes because he has a contractual agreement. So is that what we have regarding the sewer system? Are we in a situation where the hole has been dug so deeply that the only way out is for Jefferson County and maybe the state of West Virginia to suffer an enormous lawsuit from Rockwell? There's significant evidence about the dangers of Rockwell to the animals, the local businesses, our river, the land, the air, the groundwater, tourism, etc., that you must not let this happen or take the legal consequences. I know that Rockwell followed the letter of the law. However, they adhered to no ethical code of disclosure. There's been a veil of deceit from the start. If this was such a great idea, why wasn't it all over the news? Hey people, look what's coming to town. I was remiss about not reading the paper of record on the day before Thanksgiving, the most traveled day of the year, and I didn't come to the Jefferson County Developmental Authority meetings because I was working, and I thought that decisions would be made in our best interest. The Department of Highways, the Jefferson County Development Authority, the Jefferson County Commission are all part of the players. If you vote to approve taking sewage from this plant, then you are with the rest of the players whose decisions will destroy Jefferson County as we have all known to love it. This morning I talked to Red about a rat being in the room in Charleston, at the EPA, and the people's pockets being padded. Maybe that's so and maybe it isn't. Maybe it is merely a matter of negligence by not doing enough research and believing the company. No matter if you approve of this, then you'll be rolling right over with the rest of the players and we'll all be living in a toxic dump eventually. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jamie Gregory.
Yeah, I've got a minute because I conceded a minute. Yeah. I'm a resident, thank you for hearing this, resident of Jefferson County for 40 years. I call this my adopted hometown. If you took a picture of where I came from in East Aurora, New York, which is near Lackawanna and Love Canal, it would look like that. We intended to stay on here. We have children that are down in the Northern Virginia district area. They come out to see us. When we leave, because Rockwell moves in and destroys everything that we have tried to accomplish in our own small way of driving hybrids, walking where we can, building a passive solar house so that coal doesn't come spewing out, all things we've done. We had a contract, we have a contract pending for for a lot of solar to go on our house. That's off. I'm not going to compensate for some company to come in and pollute and undo everything that is a value of mine and a lot of the people that I know. Have you heard of Minden? If not, please look it up. There's doctors who have been doing the research down there on all this sort of kind of pollution, and some which overlaps, and all the health effects of that.
Your time is up. Thank you for speaking.
And I didn't want to move to Nitro, so I don't want Nitro to move to me.
So that's all the names we have on the list.
Okay.
Did we miss anyone?
Please do.
Just state your name. Just state your name.
Jennifer King, Cardinsville.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for allowing us to speak tonight. I'm Jennifer King. I'm small business owner of Eversweet Apiaries in Cardinsville. Our hives, our bees, are going to be directly affected by rock wool. Our bees, our honeybees, are already in danger because of all the pollutants and loss of habitat and foraging that have already occurred to them and pesticide problems. My bees will literally be the canary in the coal mines to all this. This is going to cause me extreme financial difficulties. I'm going to have to test my bees when they die. I'm going to have to test my honey. I don't know how I'm going to survive in this. The genie is already out of the bottle in this. Property values are going to plummet from all of this. If we continue, we have the power to stop this. We do. And we've come together within a week and a half of over 5,000 people. The petition has been signed, over 3,000 people. We're speaking out. We didn't know about it, whether you want to call it our lack of, intelligence, looking at the news, whatever you want to call it. It didn't happen. It's happening now. And we already know that our laws are lax when it comes to businesses coming into West Virginia and polluting our people. You don't want to add Jefferson County to the list of polluted counties in West Virginia. Don't let that happen. We have the power to stop this. And put the brakes on it, do the research that has not been done. All of the due diligence of the research has been put on the citizens at this point, which is really aggravating to me, that none of this was done. None of these studies have come out on our people, the environment, our bees, our livestock, our agriculture. There are so many other businesses that we can be investing in, and we're not doing it. Stop talking about it. Let's do it. For the tourism, all the tourism, small business, all I hear is chatter and talk. We never have a backbone when it comes to supporting our local business people. We just don't have it. So please stop this. Reinvest in your people. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be looking for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.